as emergency service workers, I said there's this huge national expectation of how we should perform. And a lot of us too, in the age that at least that we are in, we're type A people. We're always in control. We don't let our walls down. We have very strong boundaries. And we don't let people know when we're hurting because we can't, and that's the expectation. But a lot of us too grew up in homes where we didn't talk about death and dying and problems, and so what we've learned in our society is how not to talk when something's wrong. And talking is one of the best therapies out there. But innately, we all want the same thing. We all want to be understood. But there's a balance of that. We want to be understood, but we think that nobody understands what we have been through in our journey.
And that's what makes peer work so important, is that ethos, that credibility. Because we don't trust others, and so even if you take it down on a base level of, if I've lost my father last year, she lost her mother, I know that we have a shared relationship. There's something that we have a credibility that we can share with each other. And then when you overlay that by the fact that we're all on the same team and that we sort of do those things. But, it's been a shift that's been coming for years, but the sad part of it is that for years and years and years, we're all personally hurting or dealing with our own journeys and things that we're trying to get through, but we're not communicating about it. And so that's what peer work does. It just allows us to communicate. And it's still, we're learning more and more every day. For years, the telecommunicators were not involved in what we did because we looked at it, okay, well, who was the unit that was on the scene? And this is when they're learning and when they're trying to put stuff together. Who needs to be involved? Well, it wasn't until, we started bringing in the telecommunicators and hearing that, man, because they're living vicariously through everything that we're doing. Right.
And that's the hardest part for us because we can't see what's going on out there. We're relying on what these first responders telling us and what we're mentally visualizing, which is sometimes worse or not as bad, so that is hard, and it's mentally draining for us. And then it's nice to finally be recognized for that.
Yeah.
Andrea, can you speak a little bit to the responsibility you feel for those field units?
Wow. Yeah, we are literally in their lifeline. When they do pull up on that vehicle stop that is the routine stop that never is, and they need help, they're gonna call on the radio first, and so we're the first ones to get that stress call, whether it be on our radio or from the public on a 911 call or whatever. But yeah, that's immediately you sit up straight, and your training kicks in, and you do what you have to do to get their help there. And then if God forbid it turns out bad, then after it all comes out and everything is over with is when your adrenaline just dumps, and then you have to have that moment just to walk away, take a break, do what you got to do to deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
One of the unique things I found when I started having more telecommunicators that were involved and stuff is that I look at it now with my children. Right, I can tell when my children are calling me if there's a difference in the way that they're talking. Right.
Yes.
And so I understand when that wasn't your normal daddy. That's daddy, I need you. And so when I started hearing the communicators talk about, I could tell there was something in their voice. It wasn't their normal voice. It wasn't their normal the way that they speak. And so and then I tied it back to my children, because if my children are calling me, I'm going to help them, right?
The difference.
And so if it is when you hear that, it's your children are calling you,
those are my
but
family.
you're stuck there.
Right. We look at you guys
You're
as
stuck
our
there.
brothers and sisters out there, and we want to take care of you. And you're exactly right, especially the ones of us who have been there a long time. You know those voices, and you know the routine call, and when there's that tone in there, like I said, you sit up straight and you take note and you get to them right then.
And you don't have the full story. You may know the resolution, but you don't have the full story until much later.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.